Alright, so what's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and I just came back from watching Captain Marvel, and this is basically my first impression of it. It's not really a review, it is non-spoiler though, so there's nothing to worry about. I just want to gush about the movie that I just watched, and I watched that movie wearing this just to show how much of a fan I am for my captain. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about and say about this movie. First off, I went in with my cousin to the movie, and before we went inside the theater, I actually purchased the largest popcorn and popcorn and a Gatorade for my drinks, and I finished the movie. This is the first time that actually happened without actually eating or finishing up on the popcorn, so I still have a lot of popcorn. I'm gonna eat that later. But yeah, that's how intense and so engaging the movie was that you actually forget that you brought any food in it. And also, right off the bat, what Marvel Studios did in honor of Stan Lee, that just had me feeling so emotional. That included the cameo that Burby fell off. That included the cameo that Stan Lee has for this movie, because he is here in this movie, and when they showed him, when they showed his cameo in this movie, everyone was just showing the respect for Stan the Man, and that was just awesome, and that was just a fantastic moment. And then there's so many things in this movie that at times you would think that I figured that would happen, but there are a lot of moments where literally everyone's jaw just dropped, especially when they started naming the characters in the movie and revealing who is who. That was pretty awesome, also pretty unexpected. When it comes to Brie Larson and her portrayal of Captain Marvel, all I can say is that she is Captain Marvel. She did a solid job. And also she did extremely well in the way that during the fight scenes you can actually see Carol Danvers and not Brie Larson portraying Carol Danvers. And that's just, as a fan, as a member of the Carol Corps, I'm just so amazed by the work that she and the other people involved in this movie, right down to the technical people. I'm just amazed at the work they did. This movie, I've been a fan of Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel of Carol Danvers for 10 years. This movie was announced, I think, 5 years ago, and I have waited for this moment when I can finally watch, Carol Danvers on the silver screen. And this movie, it has everything that I hoped in an introductory movie for my superhero. It has all that and more, and I just feel so proud. I want to watch this again. I know I understood the movie. I followed what the movie was about, but at the same time, I was just so full of emotion and hype that I know I'm gonna watch this movie again and again and again, as long as my wallet would allow. And the thing about this movie is, right up to the after credit scene, because there are two after credit scenes here, and the first one I think is what most people would be on the lookout for, because if you are hyped about Endgame, you would have to watch this movie. And also, this movie explains a lot. There are a lot of Easter eggs. There are a lot of expositions as well, because they couldn't just fit everything, all the history that Captain Marvel has. They couldn't just fit it in one movie. So I'm really excited for the sequel, because I know that there's gonna be a sequel. It's impossible for it not to have a sequel at this point. But yeah, it's a solid movie. Brie did well, every character did well. Samuel, I actually love the chemistry between Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson's characters, Carol and Nick Fury. I love their chemistry. I love the scenes that they have with each other. It's just so funny, and it feels so on point, you know, with how who Carol Danvers is and how she acts. Also, that moment when her powers manifested, that was just so awesome. Like that made me feel, that scene alone made me feel like the 10 years worth of wait was, you know, worth it. And what else can I say? My brain is kind of jumbled right now because of all the emotions that I am feeling, and I'm kind of trying to bottle up. As I've said, I've waited for this moment ever since they announced that there will be a Captain Marvel movie. I think my only complaint about this movie is that I didn't want it to end, and I don't think if that is a solid complaint at all, because I love it so much, you know. It's like I was watching the movie and it feels like the comic book pages really came to life in the silver screen, and it's the space battle, you know, that was epic. And I'm trying not to be spoilery here because I want everybody to go in and watch this movie without any idea of what to expect, or with the only sole idea they have are from the shots from the trailer, which again, I really believe Marvel has perfected the formula for releasing their movies, because if you are basing everything that you are anticipating or you're thinking about when it comes to this movie on the trailers, then you would kind of be surprised. Well, not kind of, you will actually be surprised, because you know, the theories floating around, I never really watched the theories, but I know that there are theories floating around, like, where was Captain Marvel during all the times that the Avengers seemed like they needed help? Or where was Carol when Thanos did his snap? Or where was Carol, you know, when the Earth really needed defending, like the Chitauri invasion? Where was she at that time? And this movie answered that in a way that's just perfect. Like, I know that there are problems when it comes to Marvel's continuity. There are issues with that, but this feels really like a solid movie. I really can't see anything being criticized about this. I would think though that, you know, those people who are saying they won't be watching Captain Marvel because of Brie Larson, because she's a social justice warrior, blah blah blah, it is a social justice warrior movie, whatever their reasons might be, most definitely not like this movie, regardless of what the after credits has in store for them. So yeah, this movie is full of stellar performances, especially from Brie Larson, from Samuel Jackson, and from Ben Mendelsohn, who plays Talos. And Ben Mendelsohn's performance here is, I think, one of the things that I enjoyed, especially not counting, you know, the interactions that Carol and Nick has in this movie. There are so many scenes where he just shined, you know, and also with Lashana Lynch, the scenes where they are all together, I think, is one of the most, I think, engaging in a way that garnered a lot of reaction from the movie goers. I'm not gonna say what scene it is, but if you watch the movie, then you will understand which scene it is. You know, not counting all the superhero stuff that Carol Danvers does in this movie. Oh yeah, I have a complaint though. It has something to do with Clark Gregg's character, Agent Coulson. I wished they showed him more. I actually love Agent Coulson. He's one of the reasons why I watch, you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I was so excited to hear that he is going to be in this film. I'm kind of a little bit just a tiny bit disappointed because he isn't in this movie that much, but the moments where he is in it, they are just so precious. Also, Annette Bening did fantastic. Gemma Chan, Lee Pace, I can't remember all the names of the cast. I wish I could, but yeah, my brain is just on overdrive right now, trying to trying to think of what to say that doesn't sound repetitive and stuff, and trying to balance that out. Again, this is just a first impression from a fan who have waited so long for this movie to come out. And that thing that Marvel does with their villains, I hope that the villains in this film, they are not one-off, because if you read the comics, then you would know that they are recurring characters. That's about all I'll say about that. Okay, so now let's talk about this little cutie right here. Goose, I believe, is like the star that shines so brightly next to Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, because in this movie, especially the third act, Goose is awesome. This is a really funny story. I'm not gonna go and spoil anything, but just be on the lookout for Goose. There goes my cap. But yeah, just be on the lookout for Goose in the film, because he is a star in his own right. This is actually sort of what happened while I was watching the movie. So they were talking about one of the characters has explained that Goose is not an ordinary cat, even though it says right here, Goose the cat. He is no ordinary cat. I think people who research this thing would actually know what I'm talking about, but when they revealed what he is, a lot of the people in the cinema, they were laughing because they thought it was a joke, that they were calling him something else. They're calling Goose something else, not a cat, and they were laughing because he's a cat. They were in agreement with another character who believes what he believes about Goose. And when the scene that finally revealed the truth about this little cat's character, they were just so shocked. You can hear everyone's jaw dropping. And then they were all laughing so much at how that revelation came to pass. And it's just one of the most fantastic moments in my movie-going experience. It's on that same bar as the memory I have of watching the final Twilight movie, where everyone thought that all the characters were going to die. How the vision was shown in such a manner that you'd think it was actually happening. So it's on par with that movie experience for me, and it was just so hilarious. This movie is so intense, it's so emotional, it's so engaging, and it's so much fun to watch. And I know people are going to criticize stuff about this because of who is leading this movie, because I don't know what their beef are, but yeah, don't let those people get to you. Also, those people that are criticizing that Captain Marvel isn't really a superhero because she just got her powers, she doesn't really own her powers, don't listen to those people, because the truth cannot be so far from what they are saying from that statement. Just watch the movie, give it a chance, because it's so much fun. Oh my god, I want to watch this movie again. I want to watch this movie. I mean, there is, I think, a schedule for later. I want to watch it then as well. I want to keep watching this movie again as much as my wallet would allow, because it was just so epic. And what else can I say about this movie? I think I babbled enough. I hope it's not incoherent or anything, because right now I'm just full of happiness, of excitement, of hype, of of so many emotions that this movie that I have waited for has brought. And really give this movie a chance, people, because you won't be disappointed. 10 years worth, of the whole MCU history, that much worth of Easter eggs can be found in this movie if you keep your eyes peeled. So much stuff is like explained and enlightened. It enlightens people of some things that happen. And also, what else? I just hope that Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but I hope that Miss Marvel will join Captain Marvel in the sequel, because that is just a perfect duo. For people who don't know how much of a fan I am, that slogan I have, that thing I say at the end of each video, "Dream on, fly on," that was actually inspired by Captain Marvel. I got that from how she is portrayed in the comics, how she lives her life. Again, she inspires me. Basically, she's my superhero when it comes to the fictional superheroes, and that's where I got "Dream on, fly on" from. So yeah, big fan right here. But yeah, this is just an epic movie experience for me. And after the after credit scene, after watching that, I cannot wait for April, for the final week of April to arrive. I think it's the final week. The premiere of Endgame. I cannot wait for Endgame. Second to the final week, I guess. Yet, I cannot wait for Endgame to arrive just because of that. After credit scene and after watching this movie, I'm even more hyped about that, knowing that my Captain, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, is gonna be in that movie. So yeah, that's all I can say at this point. Again, this isn't a review of any kind, this is just my impression, and I feel like it's sort of a biased impression, but at the same time it's something I wanted to share with everyone, because I'm just so happy for this movie. I'm just so happy for every single Carol Corps member out there, because this is our moment. This is our movie. This is our hero finally getting the spotlight that she deserves. And they really didn't showcase a lot of Carol's powers. They didn't show all of them. I feel like they barely scratched the surface of what she can do. But with how this is, again, just sort of a retelling of her origin story, it is suffice. It's enough for this movie, and it gives us something to look forward to for Endgame, where she is gonna kick Thanos' butt. I am pretty sure of that. But anyway, this is where I will end my video for today. This hyped first impression review, sharing thing, video, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna end it here, and I think I've squished Goofy enough. I'm just so happy that I got to watch it at the first screening, no less. In our local theaters. There is, before I go, there is one thing that I would like to say that not really anything to do with the movie, but as an experience going to our cinema here, and it's that if I want to watch advertisements of various products, I would just turn on my TV. I do not appreciate them showing me two trailers. The Endgame trailer that I have basically watched so much and probably memorized, and the Dumbo trailer that got me teary-eyed. Those are the only two trailers that they showed. The rest of the 15-minute wait prior to the movie, where they should have been showing us trailers and such, or even the 5 minutes wait, or how many minutes of waiting after being shown inside the cinema, all of that time was wasted from showing different kinds of advertisements, from detergents to hot dogs to, you know, piracy stuff, like comparing it to that it's similar to stealing the tax money of the people they're not, you know, stealing people's the tax money or the people's money, that is worse than piracy, I think, because that affects the whole country. But that is not my point. My point is, this is a cinema that I have paid the ticket for, and it's not even a cheap ticket because of the demand for this movie. I paid the ticket for the cinema. I would expect to see trailers and not so much PSAs and advertisements. So yeah, that really doesn't have anything to do with Captain Marvel. It has something to do with the cinema, so maybe I'll make a different video for that. But anyway, that's all the time for that I have for today. Thank you all for watching, and I hope I managed to share the same hype that I'm feeling about this movie and about this movie experience, and I'm still feeling a little bit emotional. That's why I'm trying hard keeping my emotions, you know, bottled up, because I do not want to cry, even though I feel like crying out of pure happiness and excitement about this movie. But anyways, again, thank you all for, I'm babbling. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye now. Watch Captain Marvel. What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Vianca, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content of this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to let me know. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to be a part of the Dreamer Tribe, just hit on that subscribe button. We also have tons of different content here on my channel, so be sure to check those out. Until the next video, dream on, fly on.